What's going on with Trump and Elon? Is the bromance at an end? This big, beautiful bill that Trump is trying to get passed through the Senate, with the Medicaid tax cuts and the new regulations for working for the food stamps, also known as SNAP. At first, when Elon came out last week, he said, he wasn't totally against the bill. He said that it does have some spending in there that increases the national debt, which is at 37 trillion for the United States government. And he said what Doge was trying to do is get that debt down. And so he wasn't completely, against it. It just had some issues where he was like, okay, it has some good in it and some things that he didn't agree with. But now he's gone completely off the deep end and he's blasting the bill, calling it disgusting. And I'm going to read to you all a little bit of what Elon has said. I'm on this website called Axios.com, Axios.com. And it says Elon Musk unloaded on President Trump's signature tax and spending bill Tuesday. So just yesterday, on June 3rd, he said he can no longer stay silent, and he's calling it a disgusting abomination. So he wrote on X, formerly Twitter, shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. So he's calling out the people in Congress, the Republicans, and whatever Democrats that supported it. I think it was passed in the House 215 to 214, so by the slimmest of margins, but they still pushed it through. And, Elon's now sounding like a lot of the other people people are mad at it for different reasons. Medicaid cuts, the SNAP people there are some who just don't want to work at all. And they depend on those benefits, even though they're able bodied. But Elon is really coming out swinging at the big, beautiful bill from Trump. And so it says, this is why it matters. Musk's criticism of the one big, beautiful bill passed by the House in May comes just days after he said he was leaving the Doge, that whole situation. He was leaving the Trump administration. And so, Elon Musk was Trump's top political donor. He donated the most money. And he said he would remain an informal advisor to the president even after the official work had ended. And now we see it has ended. The Tesla CEO has long viewed the national debt as a threat in this country. But he had only, like I said, expressed some short criticism, nothing too crazy of the bill when he first heard about it. But now he's just completely lashing out. And he's calling it a deficit ballooning bill, meaning it'll add to the national debt, which Elon wants to get down. And so here's some more what they're saying. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. You can find that from Elon Musk on X. He says it will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to 2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt. I think he meant that it's way more than it's 37 trillion. I think this bill Elon is saying will add another 2.5 trillion to the debt. And so we'll be knocking at 40 trillion soon. He said United States Congress is making the United States bankrupt. Then he did another post in November next year. We fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. That is crazy. So he's saying November 2026. Those are the midterms. So he's not really choosing a party. He's looking at all politicians who voted for it. And, it's just crazy because they were so, like this. And there were people saying who's really running the presidency. Is it Elon or Trump? But with him now completely out with Doge and this bill being spent, we can see that Trump is back in the driver's seat. Or maybe he never was really out of the driver's seat. That was just how people were viewing, Elon showing up at the White House with his son. and they were just really close, you know. And the thing with Tesla, where they had the Teslas at the White House and things like that, you know, Trump was really by his side. But we'll see what Trump has to say if he gives a rebuttal. Knowing Trump, he probably will, in terms of how Elon is feeling, and he just think me and you, the American people, are being betrayed by this one big beautiful bill. So, you know, definitely an interesting turn of events right now with the way, you know, Elon is feeling about the bill. Let me see if there's some more in the article. Okay, just kind of sums it up. It says the big picture, the Congressional Budget Office and independent analysis have projected that Trump's bill, which keeps his 2017 tax cuts going, would add between 2.3 trillion and 5 trillion to the already large deficit over the next 10 years. That's what Elon doesn't want. The bill also has new spending for border security and the military, which Republicans have sought to offset with cuts to Medicaid, SNAP food stamps that I just told you guys about, and green energy tax credits. So the money spent from what they're taking away from those three, that'll go to help fund the border security and, you know, pay for that. White House officials have disputed claims that the bill would add to the deficit, arguing that the projections do not account for high levels of economic growth that tax cuts could unleash. What do you guys think? Now, here's the other side. Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said during a briefing yesterday on June 3rd. It doesn't change Donald Trump's opinion, Caroline said. This bill, she said, this is one big, beautiful bill, and Donald Trump is sticking to it. So there you guys have it in terms of how Elon feels about it. Definitely a big 360. He's completely gone, you know, off the deep end against this bill, and, you know, like you said, it's disgusting. I haven't heard too many people say it's disgusting. What I've basically been keeping track of is the people who are on food stamps, who do not want to work, even though they're able-bodied, and they don't like how they won't be able to claim their 8-year-olds and older to get food stamp money because of this bill requiring them that they can't just stay at home anymore. They have to at least be working 20 hours a week since they're able-bodied. So I've only heard complaints from certain Americans on that part of it. But as far as the whole bill in general, you know, some people are, you know, upset with the Medicaid cuts as well. And so that's a whole other issue. But I think the Medicaid cuts also fall in line with the way the food stamps are set up. Able-bodied people who are getting Medicaid, they want them to be working at least 20 hours a week as well, so they can still receive their Medicaid benefits. I don't think that pertains to officially retired people. You've reached retirement age and you've taken it, whether it be at 62 or 67, and you get Social Security payments, you know, once a month. Those people, able-bodied or not, have officially worked enough years to qualify for Social Security. Those are the senior citizens. I don't think this is referring to them. Medicaid people who are receiving it, but you're not retirement age, but you're not working, but you are able-bodied, that's who it's going to affect. And so, you know, with them making the cuts to people who just don't, I guess, comply with that, so that's just less money to be spent on them for them to get, you know, their health care. And the same thing with the food stamps. You know, that money can go towards, you know, the border security and other projects that they have going on. So a lot of people have different opinions on it. The working requirements, some people, I've seen videos who do not want to work and want tax dollars to pay for them to be able to stay at home. Some have said, hey, I can't find a babysitter for the children, that's why I do not work. Please don't cut off my food stamps for the children that are 8 years old and older. So it's a lot. You know, Elon now has his issue with it, and he's really going gung ho against Trump in this bill. And you know, it seemed so nice. You know, November election night, and then remember the inauguration speech, and you know, Elon giving his speech. It just seems like they were just going to have a really good political relationship going forward, but that has all went down the drain in these last 6 months. So you can read more on X about, you know, Elon's tweets and how he's just really upset about this bill that they're pushing through. And you know, what do you guys think? Do you say this is what you voted for, Elon, because you know Elon was the main guy, or are you more sympathetic and you're siding with Elon in terms of this bill shouldn't be passed? You know, because you know it's all political. Let me know down in the comments about Elon and Trump's breakup. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel as always, and send any videos you want me to review or topics you want me to discuss to my YouTube email. That's kregier.mj@gmail.com. kregier.mj@gmail.com. That will also be down in the description for this video. And the channel again is Facts of Feelings, all one word, no spaces. Put that in the YouTube search. Facts of Feelings, no spaces. And my channel comes right up. You get what you vote for, right? I'm out.